Hello everyone, this is Kelly again, and I'm going to update you guys on my hanging garden. But first of all, I'm going to start over here. And I added a couple of strawberry plants in this week. And there's one and two, and then I've got two strawberries there. We've been eating off this one already, and it's been producing, and I'm pretty surprised about it, as hot as it's been, but I'm going to add two more behind. But the biggest problem I see is they probably were played out for the most part, because these are they like cooler weather. But I'm going to get them established this year for next year, and then next to them I'm going to put some blackberry plants in this coming week. Also, if you'll notice, I put in a fence all the way down the entire garden, and the reason why is because of Roxy. Well, she decided it was going to be a raceway for her. She started running down there all the time, chasing cars, and anybody walk by or run by. And finally, I decided, I got to lock her out. So I did. Hopefully, I will also get an added benefit of keeping rabbits out. Although with Roxy in the yard, there's not many rabbits running around. Anyway, I put in some raspberries, and as you can tell, very, very, very healthy looking plants. Very happy with the way these are going. I only put two in. These tend to sprawl, and their root system goes sideways, so they'll probably pop up here and there, and I'm just going to have to train this entire area for that. So I'm pretty excited about that. One of the big additions this week is I built this trellis pretty much from necessity, because as you might recall, I had some cucumbers in last week, and those just went freaking nuts, and so I had to thin them out like crazy, and I didn't want to throw any of them away, so I decided to build this thing and transplant. So I put one variety there, and they're doing quite well, and they're more of a bushy type variety, so they only grow up about halfway. Then I have the more of a viney type. They'll grow way up and over. They're a larger variety, and so this thing's ready for that. And all I did was I built this thing out of 2x2, and I just weaved this rope in and out of these holes I drilled in the side. I connected it to the top of the fence, buried it about a foot in the ground, and so that it wouldn't blow away in the storm, which, by the way, we're probably going to get within the next 10-15 minutes. That's why I'm doing this video right now. But anyway, and also once the cucumbers come in, they'll have shady area under there, so I can put radishes and lettuces underneath there, so they'll keep them from burning up. I also added this week this trellis here. Nothing's planted yet, and the same with this trellis here. They're waiting on my well, what are they waiting on? I can't even think what I'm doing here. They're waiting on my cantaloupe seeds. They're actually germinating right now. I couldn't find any local seedlings to plant, so I had to germinate my own seeds. So as soon as those are done, about an inch or two tall, I'm going to transplant them and grow them vertically. I also have the watermelon here. They were choking each other out pretty bad, so I went ahead and eliminated one, put this one in this bucket. Actually, there's two there, and it gives a lot of room in between these two trellises to grow, because it's going to need a lot of room. This thing will get huge. So, and plus, if I'm lucky and have several melons, then I'll have room for all of them. Also, the grapes are doing quite well. There's the grapes. Trust me, they're there. I can't wait. I can eat off this thing when I'm doing my workout here. Also, if I have enough yield this year, I might make some wine. Anyway, I also this week thinned out my good grief, I can't even think of anything to say, the zucchini squash this week, because they were just choking each other out really bad. And so I just went ahead and put the two best plants, one in one bucket, one in the other, and they're going to need plenty of room, so I can separate them and have plenty of room for them to grow. I did the same thing with the yellow straight neck squash, did the exact same thing. They were just getting too thick and choking each other out, so I went ahead and picked the best two. Same old, and they're doing better since I've done this. Also added a butternut squash this week, and it's done, good grief, this thing has gone crazy, and I'm glad I did. My wife really loves this, and she makes soup from butternut, so those are great, can't wait. Here is the okra. The okra just doing really well. As a matter of fact, if you get down here, it's way above the top of the rim now. So those are looking really good. Hopefully they'll yield a lot. Okay. Come back here, more cucumbers. I had to put this in because I didn't want to throw them away. I'm going to get over this fence here real quick. And you'll notice I put 3 on the sides, nothing on the bottom, because they were just too small and I didn't want them to fall out. I did put a hole in the bottom for drainage, but I'm going to take some basil, which I'm growing right here, on the top of this other bucket, and I'm going to plant some more over here because my wife really uses basil in a lot of things, and so she wanted me to do that. By the way, in the last week it's grown from here to there. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, better bush tomatoes. These things are doing quite good. If you notice, I've got all kinds of growth, everything going on here. So this is a determinate variety, so it's gonna stay small, but man, is that thing's really starting to bloom out some things. This one's the Husky Cherry Red, and I think Jason's Husky Cherry Red's doing quite well, and you'll notice my first tomato here. Pretty excited about that. But also, underneath we got growth, we got flowers. We got flowers over here, we got flowers over there. Got a lot of things going on, so pretty happy about that. Put cilantro on the top of this one. We've harvested some already. Again, that was about this tall. Now it's this tall in just a week's time. We've already taken some of that and used it. It's really good. You just got to keep that picked. Once it gets a little bit more than about a foot tall, you got to start harvesting it. Here's the cantaloupe seeds. They're actually seedlings now. They're poking out, and those are going to go over there in those trellises. So there you go. I can't wait till that happens. See if my little project works. This is the Roma grape. As you notice, we've got lots of activity here. This thing is getting huge. It's the biggest tomato plant that I've got going right now. I'm pretty excited about this, but there's another cluster right there. So, man, I love those things. I can't wait till that happens. Anyway, I planted dill here. I know you probably can't tell from this picture, but that's dill. I had to do that because I'll be pickling cucumbers forever, because those things are just going crazy. So I think it was a good idea. This is the Beefmaster. Beefmaster, I've got some, there's a small cluster of flowers right there. So this thing's up, but look at the size of this stalk on this thing. Wow, this thing is really taken off. Pretty excited about that. I'm going to have to trellis that one though to keep it from breaking off because those heavy fruit. This is a Goliath. Look at that. Man, everything is starting to really flower and do well. Goliath there. There's another Goliath here. I love Goliaths. That's why I have 2 of these. But notice more growth there. Wow. That's pretty exciting. Okay, then we have red bell peppers. We got our first bell pepper coming out there on this one. This one hasn't done anything yet, but it's a little behind the other one, so I'm not worried about it. But it's coming along. Oh, there's a lightning bug. Get off there. Sweet banana pepper. It keeps growing to the bottom of this thing, but I'm trying to train it to come around. It'll be fine, though. I'm not worried too much. This one is a jalapeno. Got some jalapenos. It's probably a little dark, but got a few jalapenos coming out there. I can already see them starting to happen. Here's the radishes that were sitting on the ground last week. Thinned them out. I'm worried about them getting baked in the sun. That's why I did another reason why I did the trellis, so I could put them underneath. I bought a couple more tomato plants. This last week they were on sale. They're basically giving them away. They're just seedlings, and I just pruned the suckers off this one, and it's a big boy, and I pruned this one too. Took the suckers off that one. This is a Sweet 100, and thought it was a pretty good deal. I just bought them on sale, and they've really taken off. Pretty excited. Lettuce, not doing so hot. This is the reason why. I'm going to move everything over there. I'm probably going to lose these, but I'm not too worried about it. I'll have that shade to work with. I added this bucket this week. I've got some cauliflower seeds coming. Well, I put them in there. As soon as they germinate, I'll go ahead and transplant those in the ground. I added a cubanelle here. It's doing quite well. It came out of the side of this bucket here. See? Side. Yellow bell on the other side. Right there. And then I put a green pepper underneath. So that's pretty exciting. And then finally I added this trellis here on the end here. Put 25 beans in. They're germinating. I've actually put them in 3 or 4 days ago, and they're germinating, so they have a place to grow. All I did was open up two tomato trellises and connected them together right here, and bent them around this corner, and just kind of made it work. And so as soon as, if they get taller than that, I can just add some more to the top of that and just wire them together. Okay, that is it. I hope that updates everyone. If anybody has any questions or suggestions, please do so. Email me. Thanks to Jason, also the Kersey Gardens, for their comments and suggestions. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks.